Here are two somewhat recently extinct animals that you probably didn't know about: the eastern elk and the Merriam's elk. Now, these two elk are two subspecies of the North American elk that used to be found quite widely throughout multiple areas of North America and did go extinct at similar times due to similar causes, so we're going to talk about them both in the same video. First up, let's talk about the Merriam's elk. The Merriam's elk was found in most states for a long time and was the most numerous elk subspecies below the Mississippi River. It was found in areas from Maine all the way down into Mexico, and there used to be tens of millions of them, but they were all hunted to extinction by the year 1906. The eastern elk was much the same, closely related to the Merriam's elk, but a different subspecies that was found in more northern areas, the majority of the northeastern United States and the southeastern areas of Canada. Once again, it was essentially hunted to extinction, much like the Merriam's elk. However, it did go extinct quite a bit sooner, with the last one being shot in Pennsylvania in 1877. Now, both the Merriam's elk and the eastern elk have been officially declared extinct, but there is a little bit of wiggle room around that, specifically mainly with the eastern elk. In 1905, a bunch of elk were shipped off to New Zealand to be part of like a game hunting park where the population would be established and then hunted by rich assholes. And part of those populations that were put into New Zealand may have been eastern elk, and there are very small scattered remnants of that herd throughout New Zealand. So there may be some eastern elk genetics left in the park in New Zealand. However, if there were, it would be very small amounts because the population would have been kind of inbred and mixed with genetics from other elk species or subspecies that were also put into New Zealand. So that's kind of a bit of a dead end. Additionally, a herd of elk around Sault Ste. Marie in Ontario have been reported that share very, very similar characteristics to the eastern elk, and while not confirmed, they could be at the very least closely related to the eastern elk, but again, that has not been 100% confirmed. Additionally, in 2017, there was a whole shuffling around of elk subspecies. The IUCN basically did a whole reclassification of elk species and subspecies, so under this new classification, it could very well be that the eastern elk and the Merriam's elk, along with a couple other elk subspecies, have been reshuffled into a category, making them technically no longer extinct, just no longer found in the area. Which is interesting. I don't really get how or why they did that, but it could be the case where these guys are just no longer an extinct subspecies and are now both together part of a larger subspecies and therefore not technically extinct. But I don't know. Officially, I think these guys are considered to be fully extinct, both hunted to extinction by European settlers during colonization of North America.